Done. Funnel Hacking Live 2022, 8th year in a row, with my Savage Queen. Sitting in Orlando, about to make our way back to Los Angeles. Committed that next summer at this time, the Warrior Jet will be in full effect. But I want to give you a little decompress here as we're sitting in the airport. I got delayed for a minute, about my experience yesterday, speaking with this woman and having the experience that we did. There was this particular moment I fought my entire life for. Like, my entire life I have fought for a moment that happened on stage at 46 years of age with my 39-year-old beautiful wife, of being together for 21 years, married for 19 years, 5 children, 2 businesses, and 2+ decades of life fighting and hustling to build. 8 years of being part of the funnel hacking community, pushing and building and grinding, adding 2 new children to the mix in the last 3.5 years during COVID. And I fought for a moment that happened at about an hour into my 90 minutes on stage. God was really clear with me. He said, like 2 days ago, he said, here's what's going to happen. Amidst all the value you may add to people for being at this event, amidst all the value that Russell and Todd and Dave and all the other, and Brent and all the rest of the team members and owners of ClickFunnels, all the amazing value for all the 5,000 people there at the event, there's one thing that's going to occur for you on that stage, and it's going to be 2 things. 1, the complete unleash of who you truly are across the board at both levels. Both who you are as a divine weapon and who you are as a man, unified in one conversation. This occurred. The second thing that occurred was a moment. That moment itself was a moment on stage where I got to stand and hold my wife's hand. It was towards the end, it was about 60 minutes into the presentation. People already asked me, how do we get a copy of that? And I was like, can't get a copy of that yet. We will in the next couple of weeks. We'll be publishing it somewhere. So I'm sitting there, my wife just gets done sharing. She has done 4 different mini speeches throughout the video. We put on a production. If you weren't a Funnel Hacking Live, you missed, period. And I would put that 90 minutes on stage with my wife, my teams, with Russell, his people, everyone. I would put that against any presentation over 90 minutes that's been done anywhere in the world at any given time by anyone. Tony Robbins, don't care who it is. You put them up there, right there, they'd have to fight their asses off to compete with the intensity, the range of emotions, the amount of connection, the amount of fire, the amount of passion, and the amount of environmental conditions that were affecting that environment, including me holding the space for 5,000 people. Having Dave Woodward and his wife Carrie be part of the experience, having their boys on stage, having Russell and Colette and Ashley and Todd on stage, having John come in, who was part of Giftology, to create the massive piece of art at $26,000 a piece. We invested in those to have those made for them, to the video assets were produced, to the message, and all of this building for one simple thing: the ability for me to have this one connection with my wife. So all of this was going for about an hour, and then we're sitting there, she finishes sharing, and God in my heart's just like, it's time. And I grab both of her hands, and I turn, and we stand face to face for about 30 to 40 seconds. Whole room just quiet. 5,000 people just quiet. Everybody quiet. Everyone disappeared. Everyone disappeared. And I stood there with this woman. There she is. Holding her hands. Connecting with both our eyes, our souls being fused together. And this began for us a rebirth. We talked about it last night. We've been discussing it all today. We have been fighting for this unity as a king and queen in this kingdom for 2 decades. There were moments along the way that were beautiful. There were moments along the way that were not so beautiful. There were moments along the way that were deeply passionate and exciting and pleasurable. And there were moments along the way that were deeply filled with pain and discontentment and frustration and anger and rage. But amidst all of the things that we have found, the respect and honor that we had been searching for with each other the last 4 to 6 years finally solidified itself as equals. On stage, together, training for the very first time in a massive event. And then in that event, watching as God reached into our lives and unified us as a couple, as a unified weapon for Him, in the message that will pour forth for myself as well as my wife over the next decade or 2. So for those that were there, it looks like a bunch of you watching this, but you were. I hope that you got massive value from it. And for those that weren't there, it should be a Funnel Hacking Live 2023. You'd be amazed at what happens. Russell released the book Have It All, which is a book that he co-published with me based on my first 7 presentations and the evolution of pursuing this game of having it all. WarriorCon 4, coming up, thousands of men here in the next 4 or 5 weeks. If you're not part of that, you haven't gotten a ticket as a man, you can check more out by clicking on the link in my bio about what's going on with WarriorCon 4. All our in-person tickets are taken, but our virtual tickets are available. We would love to have you part of the hybrid experience of being able to understand and unlock for yourself, not just intellectually, but experientially over 4 days, 12 hours a day, 48 hours over 4 days, training directly with me, my teams, my experience. And ladies, if you got men in your life that you know need this fire, that you know need the tools to be able to guide them back home and be able to have them show up in a way, in reality, that you've always wanted them to show up in. Women sometimes get confused about what I do. They're like, he's kind of an asshole. I don't really like him. He's very aggressive and da-da-da-da. And I was like, I hear you. But like, he only cares about men. I said, no. I've been called to liberate men, but in the end, the outcome is the same every time. We're fighting for women and children. You can't help women and children if you continue to have a generation of men that continue to fuck it up. So, WarriorCon 4, it's going to be incredible. I gave 4 messages yesterday. The principles of wake up, take a knee, have it all, and be free. Wake up, take a knee, have it all, be free. That was the message that we spoke about. That's what she shared about. That's what I shared about. That's what our video assets and all of the entire message was pushing towards us. This idea of freedom. These are the 4 pillars of Warrior. These are the 4 pillars of WarriorCon 4. There's specific tools, assets, and weapons used amidst every single one of these categories. We will be deep diving and you will be experiencing in my software, in the curriculum, surrounded by thousands of other men, in a camaraderie and in a brotherhood over 4 days that will transform everything about the world you know. For those who are Funnel Hacking Live, it's powerful, it's profound, it's intense. And what's wild is when you're in a room with only men. Nothing against the ladies, love them. You add one powerful feminine woman to a room of men, its potency changes the dynamic of the entire room. You put men in a room, you lock them in a room for 4 days together, and what you find out real quickly is men operate very different when running with men. They think different, they talk different, they operate different, they say things different, and more importantly, they'll be honest in ways they would never be honest with women in the room. That's why we do what we do. WarriorCon 4 is a special invite. I'm inviting you to get off the fence. I'm inviting you to get off of the fence in this game and move into and secure your ticket here for WarriorCon 4 virtual ticket by clicking the link here on this bio and or clicking on the link associated with this video. Either way, this woman, she's mine. Yep, that one's mine. My queen. And rightfully so. Earned, not given. Earned. I'll post a picture of the moment in the stories on Instagram and Facebook here after I do this live, so you can see the moment, and I'll just title it The Moment. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm out. I'm gonna eat a granola bar and a chocolate milk. You want my granola bar?
It's yours, isn't it?
And last night we watched the worst movie of all time. Her idea.
So bad you couldn't stop watching it.
It was so bad we couldn't stop watching this movie. The preview was incredible.
I lost an hour of my life.
It was an hour and a half of our life we'll never get back. It's all right. Halfway through the movie, we got so bored with the movie, we just decided to get naked. And then after a good 20, 30 minutes of that, we came back and the bad movie was still going. We said, well, we don't know what to do now. I guess we'll just watch it. The next fun part was, my wife this morning after I came back from stacking and doing my work, she said, God, about 8 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast, all the kids next door in the room were so loud I could barely sleep. Then she looked at me with a little grin and she said, if we could hear their kids this morning, they could probably hear us last night at midnight. And I said, listen, the king and queen will never apologize for what they do at the Four Seasons Hotel halfway through a bad movie.
Just keep it down next time, Garrett.
Not sorry. Not sorry. All right, we're out of here. Have a great day. Again, WarriorCon 4, click on the link in my bio or click the link associated with this video. I'll post that pick up in my stories here in just a second. The moment that changed our worlds forever.